Hello everybody, this is GamerGar and welcome back to another video of Stardew Valley. For the purposes of today's video, I am going to show you the ultimate Skull Cavern guide. What we're going to do today specifically is go into the Skull Cavern with all of the goodies the game has to offer so that we can get the most out of the Skull Cavern. First, we're going to do some preparation. Let's combine the Lucky Ring with the Slime Charmer Ring so that we have that boosted luck and immunity against slimes. Next up, we're going to get another Lucky Ring and combine it with the Crab Shell Ring so we have that extra defense just in case we get nipped as we spam ladders through the Skull Cavern. And lastly but not least, we're going to put on the Dragon Scale Boots, which give us a lot of defense, and I'm going to use the Infinity Gravel with the Crusader enchantment so that if I come across those mummies, we can dish out the damage very quickly. Next up, let's talk about buffs. Ginger Ale. Now you can get the ginger ale recipe from the dwarf in the volcano cave on Ginger Island, and I cooked that ginger ale with the key seasoning so I get extra luck from it. The magic rock candy is obviously necessary. You can get that every Thursday from the desert trader. I also purchased energy tonics because they give a lot of health and energy, and I'm going to get my crystallarium shed here filled up with jades just so I can trade them in for staircases. So it's the 14th, is a Sunday, but we also got a super lucky day, so we're going to hit two birds with the one stone. And I'm going to purchase staircases right now, but I'm also going to do the Skull Cavern today. Let's see how many treasure floors we can actually get. So I got down to floor 21 here, and I get the very first treasure floor, and I get an auto petter. You can't really ask for anything better than that. And I get super lucky again, second treasure chest, and I get a crystallarium. This is why it's so important to farm the Skull Cavern on a regular occasion, especially if you've stocked up on lots of staircases. As you can see here, I'm only down to floor 60 and I've already got my third treasure room. And if you focus your attention on the time, it's still the morning time because I'm literally just spamming staircases. If you like Stardew Valley content, I produce it every Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, so subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. So basically the entirety of this video is going to be myself spamming staircases. I just want to show you how many treasure floors I can actually get in one day. Now it took me roughly, I'd say about 3 to 4 days to get this amount of staircases because I have a couple of sheds filled up to the top of crystallariums, and all those crystallariums produce is jades. The loot pool you get from these treasure chests is absolutely huge, but you can get some very luxurious items from these treasure rooms. The most luxurious items you can hope for would be the auto petter, the auto grabber, and of course the crystallarium. But you can also get some other very handy items too, like you can get bombs from these chests, you can get all different manner of totems, you can also get prismatic shards, and you can get all different types of seeds, and you can get all different types of saplings. I just got energy tonics there, which is really nice as well. So even if you don't get the auto petters, even if you don't get the really good stuff, you can still sell a lot of this stuff and make huge profits every single day that you come down into the Skull Cavern and farm these chests. The only thing you gotta watch out for when you're farming these floors is that on occasion what I find is that when you go down into the next floor, if it's not a treasure floor, there could be a serpent or a mummy or some sort of enemy very close to you, and it could nip you for some health. So it's always good to come down and wear a defensive setup if you're spamming floors. Obviously the more luck you have, the more likely you're going to find a floor. The setup that we're using at the moment is what I call a max luck setup. So we went down on a super lucky day. I have 2 luck rings equipped it. I also ate a magic rock candy and I had a ginger ale, so there's no other luck you can get in the game. I did do a video like this a couple of months ago, but that video didn't have the ginger ale included. Instead I used, I think it was a triple shot espresso that I used, so I had the speed buff, but I didn't have the extra +2 luck that you get from the ginger ale. So I decided to make a new video showing what you can actually achieve by going into the Skull Cavern with tons of staircases and maxed out luck. As you can see, these treasure floors just pop up everywhere. Now here's a pro tip for you. When you go into the Skull Cavern and you do spam your staircases, if you see holes in the ground, do not go into the holes because it is quite possible that you'll miss a couple of treasure rooms. The best way to go about it is to just spam the staircases and go down one floor at a time. Now, we're going to run into a problem here now later on, and we actually run out of inventory slots for the amount of loot that we actually get. So it's worth noting that if you exit the Skull Cavern and go back in, it will start you back on floor number 1. So just watch out for that. It'll also be very interesting to see how many crystallariums, autopetters and autograbbers we actually collect during this one run. So far we've collected quite the number of autopetters and crystallariums, so it'll be interesting to see what we actually come out with. So what I was hoping for was 100 treasure floors in one day, but we'll find out at the end of the video how many treasure floors we actually get. And at the end of the video I will actually take all the treasures that I got, I'll put them into a shed so you can visually see how rewarding it actually is to come in here on a regular basis and just spam the floors. It's always worth noting too that when you get down to floor 100 in the Skull Cavern, when you get floor 100 the very first time, you'll actually meet Key and he will give you a special drink that will increase your HP. But every time you get to floor 100 after that, the game will guarantee you a treasure room. So even if you come in with the worst luck possible, if you can make it down to floor 100, you will get a treasure room. The game also won't let you skip floor 100. So an example of this would be if you're on floor, we'll say 95 or 96, and you get a hole. That hole will never bypass floor 100. It's what you call a hard capped floor. But that's a good thing, because that we're always going to get your hands on a treasure chest. Another important thing to note here is that when you're spamming the floors, always check the durations of your buffs. Because when those buffs run out, what you'll find is that these treasure floors, they stop becoming, extremely common. Then they could become uncommon. So when your buffs do run out, make sure to rebuff yourself. 2 magic rock candies will more or less get you a full day's worth of exploration. And a couple of ginger as well to do the job. Ginger ale is very cheap to make. All you need is ginger and sugar, and just ginger is all over Ginger Island. So if you do have the Ginger Island 1.5 update, go to the volcano cave, get to the dwarf and buy that lovely recipe off him. I think it costs 5,000 gold, somewhere around the 5,000 gold mark, and it's one of the best recipes you can get in the game. So as we can see here now, I got 43 treasure chests so far, and it's only 3 o'clock. So I'm really hoping to get 100. How many treasure chests have you gotten out of Skull Cavern in one day? Leave a note in the comments and share your experiences with the rest of the community that is subscribed to GamerGar. The one thing I love about the Skull Cavern is that every time you come in here, it's a different experience. Even though the layout of the cavern is always the same, you're always going to get a different mix-up every time you come in. This must be, I'd say, the 100th time I've actually rented this cave, and I've never gotten as lucky as I've gotten today. I've never in my life got this many treasure floors ever. It's absolutely amazing. As we can see there, I just rebuffed just to get the luck back up. The main reason why you want to get magic rock candies, it's not the fact that it gives you a speed buff or an attack or defense buff. It's because of the luck stat that it gives you. And when you go into the Skull Cavern, luck is everything. The more luck you have, the more likely you are to get a treasure room. That's how the mechanic works. The higher your luck stat, the odds become much, much higher, where the game will give you a treasure floor. You can also get treasure floors one after the next, and it does happen to me on a few occasions here, where you get a treasure floor, you literally go down into the next room and it's another treasure floor. It's really nice when that happens. I think the most I've ever gotten were 3 treasure floors in a row, and the crazy thing about it was that I got a prismatic shard in each one. What are the odds of that? It's just insane. So we're very close to 1,000 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so, because I would really appreciate it. I'm doing up the room at the moment. I'm getting it ready for streaming. So I will be doing some live streams very soon, definitely within the next month or 2, once the room is set up. And once I look normal. I look very scruffy at the moment. So I hope to see you in the live streams. I hope to have a chat with you. You can tell me all about your day and I can tell you about mine. During the live streams, I'm probably going to do a let's play, and it's probably going to be something probably around the road to perfection or something like that. but I'll release a poll in the next few weeks anyway, and people can vote on what they actually want to see during the live streams. So I'll leave it up to you guys in terms of what you want to see. As you can see here now, after getting a lot of rain totems, I think rain totems are one of the most underestimated items in the game. You could actually have a box full of rain totems, and you could use a rain totem every single day. But here's a pro tip: before you use the rain totem, check the weather to make sure it's not raining the next day, otherwise you're just going to waste a rain totem. I've done farm layouts before where I haven't used iridium sprinklers, I haven't used any sort of retaining soils, and I've just used rain totems just to water all the crops for me. It's a great way to make a little bit extra money, because all those tiles that the sprinklers are taking up, you can put a crop down instead. So if you do get rain totems, don't get rid of them. Use them, they're really handy. What I love about the treasure floors is that not only can they give you quality sprinklers, but they can give you iridium sprinklers. Most of the items you get from these treasures, you can actually put them into deconstructors and get materials back. So if you get things you don't really need them, you can just lob them into deconstructors and get materials back that way. The life elixir is one of the best consumables in the game to give you back health, but if you have lots of money like me, you're better off to just go to the pharmacy and purchase the energy tonics of Harvey. They do cost 1,000 gold a piece, but they're so worth it. They literally put your health and energy right back up to the top when you take one. Now, I know there's other alternatives. A lot of people like to use cheese for consumables. Other people like to use salads. Salads is a cheaper option, but salads are still pretty good. Cactus fruit is also another good way to go about it. So you've probably noticed that I've gotten tons of hats out of these treasure chests. And you can, any sort of clothing item you get, you can put it into a dresser that you can get from a catalogue, I believe. So if you do have a chest filled up to the top with hats, or filled up to the top with clothes, you know, tops or shirts, etc., take them out of the chest and put them into a dresser, because the dresser has an unlimited inventory that can take all the clothes that you give it. If you want to get the magic cowboy hat, you actually have to purchase that using Omni Geodes from the desert trader. Same goes with the turban. You do get the white turban from the treasure floors here, and it's a really cool turban. But the magic one is from the desert trader from Omni Geodes, just to make you aware. It would be really cool if you could set up your own shop in this game. If I had to, if I had one wish to give the Concerned Ape, it would be the option to set up a shop where I could sell items to the NPCs around Stardew Valley. You could even set up a hat shop. You could go rivals with the mouse, who has the better hats. The Omni Geodes that you get from these treasure floors are actually really handy, because you can trade those Omni Geodes for treasure troves. And the great thing about treasure troves is that you can get pearls out of the treasure troves, and you can get golden pumpkins, and they're universally loved gifts, and they're a magnificent way to get, you know, hearts up with people. So the Skull Cavern basically gives you everything that you need. Now, if you look very closely here, those crystallariums, I've gotten tons of them so far. So I'm on treasure floor 88. It's 1220, now 1250. I don't know if I'm going to get 100, but I'm going to get very close to 100. I've gotten so many things now from these treasure floors, it's just absolutely amazing. Quality sprinklers, iridium sprinklers, autopetters, crystallariums, seed makers, you name it, I've picked it up. I thought I would have gotten more prismatic shards, but I suppose it's all RNG, you know, the random number generators of Stardew Valley. Super meals are also really nice, and I believe they're a favourite for Alex, the super meal. I think they're one of his loved gifts. The saplings are really handy too if you want to start, you know, growing trees in your farm. That is treasure floor number 94, and it's 150. So I got 94 treasure floors in one day. And I got 5 autopetters, 9 crystallariums. I've never in my life gotten something like that before. It was just insane luck. But that is what you can actually achieve by going into the Skull Cavern with maxed out luck. I just laid out all the really nice items I got in the shed just to show you. 9 crystallariums, 5 autopetters, 3 auto grabbers, 4 seed makers. We got all the bombs, we got sprinklers, we got totems. So I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to upload the next Stardew Valley video in the next day or two, so stay tuned for that. Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays is when I release Stardew Valley content, so if you do enjoy Stardew Valley content, make sure you subscribe to the channel and help me out loads. I hope you have a great day. Bye for now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell to be notified for my future videos. And as always, have a great day.